morning. Monday morning motivation is here.
Yet again.
Once again.
Yes.
We are very glad you guys are tuning in. Hopefully you can see and hear us and let us know that you are here. If you are brand new to the channel, I'm Chris, better known as Chris Cooking Nashville, here on YouTube. And this is the amazing and beautiful Ash Taylor, the incredible country artist. We've lost, between the two of us, about 240 pounds on a proper human diet.
A lot. It's a very big person.
Yes. And now I spend time doing things like motivating people, creating recipes, just sort of promoting the potential of using things in the low-carb realm to help fix all of these health issues if that's something you choose to do. Nothing that we say is medical advice. We are not doctors, and even if we were, we would not be your doctor because we would be on YouTube. So this is for entertainment and educational purposes only. This is anecdotal information based on our own experiences and our own research. So you got to go do your own research and make your own choices with your own decisions and common sense involved. But we'll tell you what we think. If you like hearing opinions and seeing what it is we have to say and why we think what we think, then you found the right place.
Yeah. Awesome.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. I'm still kind of waking up a little bit, but I'm
Yeah.
doing good. I'm happy to be here.
Yep.
Very excited about our topic today.
Yep.
Would one say that this might be controversial?
I would say this is a big controversy that has kind of blown the internet up right now, and we're gonna say hey to a few people and kind of see who's here, and then we are gonna dive into this whole concept of carnivore babies and carnivore kids.
Awesome. Well, yeah, let's say hey to some folks.
Let's see who's here.
Out of the gate, we actually have a new YouTube member.
Oh, very cool.
Charlene.
Hello,
just joined.
Charlene. Thank you for joining the YouTube memberships.
Yes, that's awesome. We're glad to have you. Thank you. Lynn is here.
Hey, Lynn.
The beautiful Miss Janelle is here.
Hello, Janelle.
And she says prayers for Ash's mom's surgery today. Thank you, Janelle.
Thank you,
You're
Janelle.
very, very sweet. I'll post an update later in the band.
Yeah.
Let's see here. And you're actually talking about the band right here.
Yeah. So there's a YouTube membership, there's a Patreon group. You can join either of those, of course, if you prefer. But if you want the ultimate experience in the band, that is the link right there, and I put it on both of the channels we are streaming to. We do support. We have a great community that will help you celebrate your wins and stand up to your struggles. We also do some extra recipes. We do some private live streams, Q&As. We put behind-the-scenes content in there. We have some other creators that are in there, the newest of which is Miss Amanda Decker from Clear Path Medical. She's amazing. She is in there, and she's doing some live streams and different things for people. Just a great resource for you guys, and we're building even more stuff. Like, we are in the process of growing and making the Mighty Networks group that is linked right there the, hopefully, ultimate place for amazing keto and carnivore recipes, as well as just support and encouragement and motivation on the internet.
I love it.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
So if you guys are interested, please come over there and join.
Yeah, it's a blast. Sherry Nevada Pup is in the house.
Good morning, Sherry.
Always good to see Sherry. Holly Springer is here.
Hey, Holly.
Glad you can make it. Your mom is here.
Good morning, Mom in Nashville.
Let's see here. Everyone's saying hi to everybody.
Yep.
Carrie is here with us.
Good morning, Carrie.
Glad to have you, buddy. This is awesome. Rad Brown. Very
Rad
cool name.
Brown.
Good morning. Rad from South Carolina here. Hope y'all are doing fine.
Well, we're very glad you are here, Rad.
That's
Thanks for joining.
Cool. I love it. Let's see here. Lots of people saying, hey. Lynn says, love the thumbnail, baby Chris with his guitar and steak.
That's right.
Yes. And Holly Springer says, and headband.
Yes. If you guys don't know, back in the day, I used to wear a bandana all the time when I was on stage. In fact, I actually had an old guitar teaching and artist development company that I taught lessons and did artist development stuff. It was called Black Bandana Artist Services because I was the guy with the black bandana on all the time.
Yep.
back in the day.
That's very true.
That was a long time ago.
It was. It feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
Grandma Patricia is here.
Hello, Grandma Patricia.
Glad she can join us. Yogi is here.
Good morning, Yogi.
Your mom says the food all around the mouth would definitely have been Tiffer at that age.
Yeah, that would have been me.
Definitely. Blue Diamond Bill is here.
Hey, Bill. How are you, brother?
Good morning, all you carnivore babies out there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Cheryl is here from Indiana.
Cheryl.
That's awesome. Crow is here.
Good morning, Crow.
Patricia says, Ash, what a great shirt. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I love this shirt. Kelly is here from Arkansas.
Hello, Kelly.
Sharon is watching from Victoria, Texas.
Good morning, Sharon.
Let's see here. VJS is
Good
here.
Good morning, VJS.
Ann D is here.
Ann. Yes, good morning, Ann.
And Yoki says, don't you know meat is addictive?
yes, that's what they say, right? We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, Patricia says, sounds like a great name for a band, Carnivore Babies.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see here. Oh, and just real quick, if you don't mind, Sherry wants to know, before you get going, how is the mama?
Yep.
So if you guys don't know, my mom actually has been in the hospital for about the past week or so.
Yeah.
And she ended up having a couple of different operations on her heart, and has a lot of health issues going on at the moment. But she had surgery yesterday. And I talked to her nurse last night, and everything went well.
Mm-hmm.
So it went good, and she's recovering, and hopefully that will be, I think it's a really positive thing. I think it kind of added years on to my mom's life, and very grateful for doctors and medicine, and very grateful for a proper human diet.
Yes.
And understanding what that does when actually you know that knowledge, and you can actually implement it into your life. Because if my mom was doing keto and carnivore, and hadn't been on a standard American diet for 6+ decades, I don't think she'd be in the hospital right now.
Well, and that's a good point of, like she's in the hospital having to overcome all of these things. These are the consequences we all pay for not knowing and for eating stuff that was inflammatory and junk and killing us from the inside out. But thankfully, modern medicine allows us to do things like extend our opportunity to turn that back around the other way. And I know your mom's been doing keto, and so if after sort of this whole thing, I think we're going to encourage her and hopefully work with her and try to get her more in the direction of like a meat heavy ketovore kind of a thing, and see if we can actually reverse these things now that we've gone in and gotten some things under control. Hopefully we can help her make herself younger and healthier over time, and this will be the new chance. Yes. The chance for a new life.
Absolutely. It's all really, really good, and it sucks that she's having to go through it, but I'd rather her go through all the heart surgeries than just drop dead one day. And she's about to be a grandma in 8 weeks. Yeah. So lots of reasons to live and get healthy, and what a great why to have. Yeah. And so but thank you guys for asking, and thank you guys for your prayers. Y'all have been so sweet.
I know I have extra weight to lose, but I am not the one giving birth.
You're not?
I'm not the one giving birth, no.
To carnivore babies?
No carnivore babies coming from our household, and don't anybody freak out. Ash is not pregnant either, so...
hell no. Hell no.
No. We no.
Yeah, got a lot of problems.
That is your brother.
Yes.
And his wife.
Yes. No. My younger brother. Yeah, we've talked about it a bit on the channel.
Yes.
Hey, really quick, Dustin at Keto Simple is here.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Man, he gave you a $5 super chat.
Oh, well, thank you, Dustin.
Says, love being a part of the band.
Oh, brother, we're glad to have you in there.
And he's saying all these nice things. And then look at another $5 super chat.
Oh, come on, Dustin. You're very sweet.
Yes. He says, love and hugs to your mom, Ash. We're all in her corner. Make sure she knows we're rooting for her. Thank you so much, Dustin.
You're very, very sweet, my friend.
Again, what a great community that we have here. Everyone has just been so sweet and so kind, and I see all your guys' comments about praying for my mom. You guys are just wonderful.
Absolutely.
And B Rose is here.
Hello, B Rose. How are you?
She says, hi, Chris and Ash. It's Betsy from the PhD.
Yep. Good to see you.
Love it.
Good to see you.
Well, honey, I know you got a lot to share with us today. Let's dive in.
Yeah. So I thought this was really interesting because if you guys haven't seen it, you can totally go find it and, watch all this kind of stuff. Go to Dr. Barry's channel, go to Nisha's channel, any other Facebook pages, whatever, and you'll see the links for this stuff. But for those of you who don't know, Nisha was involved with this Wall Street Journal article about carnivore kids and about what they feed their kids, amongst other people who are doing like the animal-based, ketovore, carnivore thing with their kids. And it turned into, there was a whole bunch of stuff. But basically, Both Dr. Berry and Nisha have been interviewed. Dr. Berry was on Fox News. All of this. And they're talking about this whole thing and doing this whole carnivore babies subject. And I watched Dr. Berry's interview. I read the article. I saw what, Nisha had said in the Wall Street Journal. And I watched some of the other stuff. I thought they did a great job. I really thought they did a great job. It was very balanced. It was very logical. It was very factual based kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, you can have your own opinions about what those facts can or cannot mean. But I thought overall, they were very clear. They were very smart. They made this subject very easy to understand why they believe what they believe. And even if you disagree with them, that's okay. We all have a right to believe what we want. But they made it very clear why they believe it and what they're doing. And I thought it was really cool. Within about 2 days, the internet started blowing up with all of this stuff talking about the carnivore baby thing. And I mean, it started going wild. I mean, really, really wild. And so this kind of became this huge wave of all of these people taking sides and all this kind of stuff. And so I saw that and I thought, well, I'd love to jump right in the middle of that. So here we are. And Ash and I just thought, this would be a good chance to discuss just kind of our take on this and maybe hear from you guys what your take is on this. And spoiler alert, we agree with Dr. Berry and Nisha on these things. And I'm going to tell you why. But I would love to hear from you guys. Put it in the chat, what you think about this stuff. If you have thoughts, if you agree, if you disagree, why you agree or disagree. Feel free to drop that in the comments. I would love to take a look at that here in a minute. But be respectful. If you're not respectful, we're going to block you from the channel. We don't deal with that. But you're welcome to have a difference of opinion. Just be kind. But it's interesting that this has created such a wave of things going around the internet right now. And so we just thought it would be a good chance to kind of talk about that. So I'm just going to pop up a very quick little speaking list thing here just so you guys can kind of follow along, because one of the things that I really want to do is separate out fact and fear here. Right? Because there's a lot of people freaking out over things that I don't think there's any reason to freak out about, but I think misinformation has made them fear these things. And truthfully, this is what media likes to do these days. They love to sensationalize things. They love to make it fear-based. They love to edit stuff and make it more about gripping you on the edge of your seat than really reporting the truth. Unfortunately, I see a lot of that, and I think that's part of the problem. So here's kind of where we're going to divulge, what we think, why we think that, what I agree with, what I disagree with, whatever. Again, none of this is medical advice. If you have kids or grandkids or babies or whatever, you need to go do the research and you need to make your own decision about what you want to do with your family. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you any of this is medical advice. I am not qualified to tell you anything. I'm telling you what my observations are, what I see as the facts, what I believe, and then you can take that information and do what you will with it. Go do your research and you make your own decisions. So no medical advice, none of that. And do me a favor, don't put any of your own medical advice in the chat. Feel free to drop your opinions. Would love to know what you guys think, but we don't need to be telling each other, you need to do this and you need to do that. We're not doctors and we're not here to tell each other what to do. We're just here to present what we know, why we know that, and let other people make their decisions. So, kindness and no medical advice. Okay, so like we said, Dr. Berry went on Fox News, and he said the words carnivore babies, and the internet basically exploded, okay? Some people are cheering, some people on the other side are screaming, child abuse, we are going through this weird, both sides of a coin argument on the internet right now. And I really want to try to cut through the noise as much as we can and try to look at the science and the history and actual data so that whatever we believe, we can do it from a position of being informed. Mm-hmm. So let's talk first of all about history. What did kids eat before pouches and puffs? Mm-hmm. One of the things Dr. Berry always talks about, and I love the way that he talks about it, is he always talks about, giving kids like little rice puffs and all this kind of stuff, and he's like, that's not food. Mm-hmm. And I agree with him. We have these little pouches and these little puffs and these little purees and all this kind of stuff that we give to babies and young children. None of that stuff ever existed. That is within like the last 50, maximum 100 years, right? None of that stuff ever existed. So what did kids eat before that? Well, we know that hunter-gatherer cultures, the babies were weaned by eating chewed up meat mash. Okay, so they were weaned on meat, not Cheerios, not puffs, not fruit purees. They were weaned with meats, and it was usually the moms would chew this up into a mash and give them meat mash, right? And that's how they were weaned. So none of these other things that we now think kids should be eating, whatever, none of that ever existed. You can find this in archaeological research. You can find this in the anthropology. You can find this in history books. You can find this information is out there, that this is what babies ate. And they also have done scientific studies of the remains that have been found at like burial sites and this kind of stuff. And they know from long time ago that meat was a major source of nutrition for these people, including the children. Like they find children and babies that, unfortunately died and were buried, and they study them too. And that's how they know this, along with the archaeology and the anthropology and history writings and all this stuff. The science shows that this is what was going on. So the archaeological findings show animal foods were the earliest weaning foods. And this there's a source here, Nesbitt and Jordan from 2020, Cambridge Encyclopedia of Human Evolution. They know that meat was one of the earliest weaning foods for babies. Okay? Also, Weston A. Price in the 1930s documented that robust child development was present in traditionally meat-heavy cultures. And this is from Nutrition and Physical Degeneration. Again, Weston A. Price, 1930s. They saw this really robust health in children that were being given meat from the earliest stages. So, if meat as a baby food was dangerous, humanity would not exist the way it does today. We would have died out a long time ago. Okay? You can't argue that, because the history and the science is right there. That's just, this is the way this works. Okay, next, nutrient density. We've covered history. Let's talk about nutrient density. Why does meat beat the purees that we think babies should be eating? So meat contains a few things that are really important. First of all, heme, iron, and zinc. This is critical for the growth and the brain development in babies and young children. It also has B12, DHA, and creatine, which is essential for cognition and the nervous system. And I've actually been playing around even as an adult with the B vitamins, the creatine. You're taking some creatine now. Yeah. We're doing an N=1 experiment trying to work with our own bodies and our own minds and our own nervous systems to experience some of the benefits of this, right? But you get all of that stuff on like a carnivore meat-based diet. So that's all super important. What about all the plants that everybody talks about? Because, you hear this in the news all the time. Plants are superfoods, and you need your vegetables, and plants this, and plants that, and vegan diets this, and whatever. Plants have a lower bioavailability, and they have anti-nutrients that block the absorption of the nutrients that they do have. So, meat, scientifically, if you just measure the meat and you measure the plant, for the same amount of food, meat always beats out plants in terms of nutrient density. Meat is always superior. On top of that, the nutrients the plants do have get blocked to some extent by these anti-nutrients that keep you from absorbing it. And the nutrients that are in the plants are not as bioavailable as the ones that are in the meat. So there's really like 3 layers to why meat is better nutritionally than plants. You don't hear people talk about this. They like to talk about, oh, spinach is full of amino acids and it's full of iron and it's full of whatever. Right, but none of it's bioavailable. And you have anti-nutrients blocking a bunch of the absorption, and it's not as high as the meat in the first place. So you have less of the stuff in it with plants. You have a less absorbable form for the stuff that is there, and it comes with anti-nutrients that block you from absorbing even more. So there's 3 different layers to why plants do not give a baby the same nutrients as the meat. So, just saying. So the American Academy of Pediatrics now recognizes meat as an excellent first food because of iron and zinc needs specifically. And this is from the AAP policy from 2013. Okay, so we're 10 years, 12 years deep into the American Academy of Pediatrics recognizing meat being an excellent first food for children. Okay. The leading cause of nutritional deficiency in children worldwide is iron deficiency. Do you know what fixes that? Plants don't.
Meat.
Meat fixes that. So the leading cause of nutritional deficiency in children worldwide is iron deficiency, and meat is what fixes it. Okay? Number 3 here, the vitamin C scurvy myth. Okay? Critics of this whole carnivore babies, carnivore kids, whatever thing, and honestly even the critics of adults doing carnivore, a lot of them like to scream the no fruit equals scurvy. If you don't have the vitamin C in the fruits and all this kind of stuff, you're going to end up with scurvy. I'm concerned about vitamin C intake. Okay, first of all, they're wrong. All right? I did 365 days carnivore with no fruits and vegetables. I didn't end up with scurvy. No problems. There are a lot of carnivores out there that have been carnivore way longer than me and way stricter than me. None of them have scurvy. And there's a few reasons for this. First of all, fresh meat contains a little bit of vitamin C. It's very small amounts, but it's very, very real that there is a little bit of vitamin C in meat. So people who are saying you're not going to get any vitamin C, you're going to get scurvy, apparently haven't done the nutritional study to recognize vitamin C is in meat. And especially if you get like liver, like the organ meats, you're going to get a higher amount of that amongst many other nutrients, but there's a whole thing there. Fresh meat contains vitamin C. Also, Harvard researcher Nick Norwitz, that's a name that a lot of people in the space hear about, he maintained a normal vitamin C level eating only meat, and he studied himself intentionally proving that you can have a normal vitamin C level with the trace amounts of vitamin C that are in fresh meat. This was on Fox News Health back in 2024, so it's right there for you. The other thing that plays into this is that a low-carb metabolism actually lowers your demand for vitamin C. And the reason for this is because glucose, when you're eating way too many carbs, glucose is the main energy source you're burning all the time. Glucose competes with vitamin C for transport. So when you don't have all of the extra glucose and you burn through it and then you're burning ketones, what little bit of vitamin C comes in the meat can easily be transported through the body and used the way that it's supposed to be because the glucose isn't blocking it. So you're not fighting against glucose trying to get the vitamin C where it needs to go. The small amount that you get becomes sufficient. It's almost like our bodies were designed to eat meat and have enough of everything that's in there.
Yeah.
So scurvy happens in sailors that are eating salted pork and biscuits, not in babies eating fresh steak. Okay? Scurvy because of the lack of vitamin C and the high carb intake, and there was a bunch of other factors going into that for sailors, is where that all came from. And the problem was that it was a very blanket solution to what was believed to be a very simple problem. And so limes, or that's why they call them limeys, right? Limes, or any kind of the citrus fruits, adding extra vitamin C into that diet to prevent scurvy in sailors leads to this whole thing that, oh well, everybody has to have their citrus fruits and they have to have all of this vitamin C, or else you're not going to be able to be healthy, and therefore we need to be drinking a gallon of orange juice a day. And it led down this whole slippery slope where, I mean, essentially we threw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah.
Right? These small group of people over here in a specific set of circumstances ended up with scurvy, so therefore here's what all people in humanity need to do. Doesn't work that way. Also, let's talk about the Inuit. Living on the ice and eating like seals and whale meat and whale blubber and all that kind of stuff. Where do you think they get their oranges from? Guess what? They don't have scurvy issues up there. I think vitamin C is very clearly a myth. Okay? Let's talk about the gut health and allergies. A lot of kids react really poorly to grains, legumes, and sometimes even fruit, depending on the particular kid. They get eczema. They get reflux. They have behavioral issues. Like, all of these different things. And when you switch them over to a animal-based, a carnivore diet, you pull most, if not all, of the plant matter out. Maybe they have a little bit of fruit if they can tolerate it, because kids handle some of that better than we do, especially. But if you pull all of those greens, all of those legumes, all of the veggies, all of the purees, all of the junk out of the diet, parents report a number of things. Calmer digestion, okay? Especially in babies and maybe kids that aren't fully potty trained. It's real nice to not have digestive issues, if you guys know what I'm talking about. They have better sleep. They have improved mood with carnivore weaning. Okay? So this is from the Wall Street Journal interview with Nisha and Dr. Berry, talking about all of these things that parents are reporting, right? Also, one of the big arguments that people are making about this is related to gut health and allergies. They talk about fiber. Well, you're not getting any fiber. If it's not the vitamin C they're worried about the fiber. You're not getting fiber. Where are you getting fiber? Here's the thing. Fiber is not required for gut health. As someone who has irritable bowel syndrome myself and gut issues, let me tell you, fiber is not the answer. It's a whole lot better when I don't have fiber in my diet. I mean, believe me, it's amazing the difference. I have struggled with gut issues as long as I can remember, from the time I was a little kid. And taking out the fiber is the only thing that has ever made that go away. Fiber is not required for your gut health. Clinical evidence shows that low fiber or fiber-free diets actually resolve IBS in many patients. This is from Fox News Health in 2024 again. Taking fiber out of the diet can make a massive difference. And here's the thing. There is actually no RDA, that's recommended daily allowance, I think is what it is. I think the A stands for allowance, or recommended daily intake, like RDI, RDA, whatever. There is no RDA for fiber in babies. Because it's not essential. You can live without fiber. The necessary amount of fiber for you to be healthy and for you to live a happy life on a daily basis is 0. Some people can handle it and it doesn't cause an issue. So I'm not necessarily trying to demonize fiber, although it can cause a lot of problems for a lot of people. And you have to kind of figure out, are you one of those people that can handle a little bit, or do you need to just completely stay away from it? But regardless, the amount that you need that is essential for your health is actually 0. So What about evidence from pediatrics and medicine? We've talked about sort of the history. We've talked about the science of the nutrient density. We've talked about a couple of the myths like the vitamin C thing and the gut health and allergy issues related to fiber and these sorts of things. Well, what does the pediatric and the medical world say? So, epilepsy treatment protocols for kids have been using ketogenic diets that are actually far stricter than kind of the average carnivore thing that we're doing here for decades under medical supervision. And this is Kossoff and others, Epilepsia from 2009, okay? These ketogenic diets that they use to treat epilepsy, I mean, they're like measured amounts of cream and measured amounts of fat, measured amounts of protein. Like, they are very, very strict. And they use this very successfully as an epilepsy treatment in kids. Huh. Okay? The results are safe, effective, and medically accepted that this is a good thing to do. And so it's like, so what's the difference? Carnivore uses more protein and nutrient density than this strict keto. All right? That strict keto is very much about fat, and it's about a specific combination of these things to treat specifically the epilepsy. The only difference is that carnivore is maybe leaning more with the protein direction because you're getting a lot more of the meat and a lot less of specifically just fat intake, because it's the fat intake of these keto diets they're using to treat epilepsy is so calculated because of what's going on in the brain. But carnivore is very similar to this. You're just getting some more protein and you're actually getting more nutrient density because of the amounts of meat and different things you're eating. So if these carb-free diets were inherently unsafe for kids, babies, whatever, I don't think major hospitals would prescribe them.
Yeah.
I mean, if the major hospitals are using them safely for these kids, what's the difference with all of the other kids who actually should be able to tolerate a lot more variance than the kids that they're doing this with? Something to think about. So, what about the global health context? I know that we all sort of think like in terms of our Western lifestyle sometimes. But what about what's going on in the rest of the world, how this works globally, especially because you see people, they like talk about this culture from this place or this tribe from this area or whatever. So the World Health Organization talks about iron deficiency is the #1 child nutritional deficiency worldwide. We've already talked about meat is the most effective solution to that. So feeding kids ribeye instead of goldfish crackers may literally save them from lifelong iron deficiency anemia. Okay, we currently have an epidemic of obese, diabetic kids. And you can look at all of the data that is out there. We've talked about this before. And you see that meat intake has actually gone down on average in people over the last 100 years. Significantly reduced meat intake, significantly increased plant intake. And we have an epidemic of obese and diabetic kids. And somehow, steak is the danger of that. So we eat less meat, we eat more plants, we receive all of the data that says we now have an epidemic of children that are obese and diabetic. Kids should not be obese and diabetic, period. Unless there's some really weird medical thing going on in a very rare circumstance, children should not be obese and they should not be diabetic. We've reduced our meat, we've increased our plant grain intake. Our children are obese and diabetic, and the steak is the problem. It doesn't make any sense. That's not logical. There is no sense in that. So, the thing we need to understand is, again, this is not medical advice. Every family needs to research. You need to monitor your children. You need to work with your providers in whatever way you think is appropriate. But the evidence shows that meat is a safe, nutrient-dense, and historically normal food for children, and that includes the babies, sugar and processed grains are actually the experimental diet. That has only happened over the last 50 to 100 years. For thousands of years before that, meat, eggs, these are the foods that we used to wean and feed children. So carnivore babies have existed for a long time, and this is what Dr. Berry talked about on the Fox News interview. He's like, this isn't new. Carnivore babies have existed for thousands of years. It's just now we have this idea that we should be having rice puffs and purees and fruit packets and gummies and snacks and stuff that come in little pouches and, you know, all these things, that it's like now for some reason we think that meat and eggs is going to be bad. And I thought it was really interesting in his Fox News thing, and right after the Dr. Berry portion of that, then they talked to a guy who is not a family doctor, by the way. He doesn't work with children. And they talked with this guy about his thoughts on this. And first of all, he was like, well, it's bad, and here's why. And he didn't really give any great reason. One of the reasons that he said, though, was that meat is addictive.
Yeah.
And when he said meat was addictive, I was kind of dumbfounded for a minute, because I would love to understand the science that he's trying to use to say meat is addictive. What physiological process is happening inside the body that creates an addiction to meat? Mm-hmm. I understand what's happening with sugar, because you eat sugar and the areas of your brain light up the same place they do with things like cocaine, and you hit the dopamine receptors hardcore and you get addicted to the dopamine spike. Then you spike the insulin and then you crash, and then you need more sugar to bring yourself back up, which hits the dopamine, spikes the insulin, and then you crash. And so it's this spike and crash up and down, like getting high, crashing, getting high, crashing. I totally get how sugar does it. But if you're going to go on TV, national news, and you're going to say, well, meat is addictive, you got to explain how that works. Because I've never heard that before until he said it. And this is the thing Dr. Berry said. He was like, in response to it, he's like, the most argumentative vegan that has come after me for being a carnivore has never tried to tell me that meat is an addictive substance. He's like, I've never heard this before. I've never heard it either. So I'm like, so explain physiologically how meat is addictive, because that's just wild. It's historically normal for kids. Sugar and processed grains are the actual experimental diet. Meat is the default. Meat is what we came from. Meat is how we survived. So, I don't know. I'm just kind of dumbfounded about this idea that meat is somehow bad for kids. So, I want you to ask yourself, are carnivore parents reckless? Or are they actually just reclaiming this nutrient-dense, historically proven way of raising strong and healthy kids? Are they crazy, or are they actually just realizing that 1,000 years ago, this is what we did to have really strong kids if we had the resources to do it? If you had the meat, you'd feed it to the kids. Is that what they did? So now that's just what we're going to do. Is that the thought process that carnivore parents are using? I think it is. I agree with Dr. Berry on this stuff, and I think that the science backs it up. And I'm on the side of meat. You know, I don't know if Ash and I'll ever have kids, but if we do, meat-heavy keto, ketovore, carnivore is the way that I'm going to teach them to eat, because I don't want them to deal with all of the health issues that I have. I don't want them to be 400 pounds and then struggle to lose that and get that all off and go through depression and anxiety and all of the things that I've dealt with, and the pain and the metabolic problems, and, you know, like trying to figure out how to get rid of this desire to eat all of these random things I've eaten my whole life, processed products. Like, if they want to be a little more keto, if they want to be a little more ketovore, I don't care. Like, somewhere on that proper human diet spectrum, wherever they feel they're best, that's all I care about. But I'm going to teach them about the benefits of eating protein, eating animal-based foods. That's where I stand on this. And I think the science shows that that's a really good thing. And the history shows that that's a really good thing. So I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you love this idea of carnivore babies? Do you despise the idea of carnivore babies? Like, what do you guys think? I would love to know your thoughts on this. So, do you have thoughts on this that you would like to add?
I don't think it's probably too shocking. I think if you just look at it from a big picture, I think that we all who are tuning into this live stream in one way or another, our whole lives, from the time we were in our mother's womb, to the time that we were born, from the very get-go, we were fed things that were not good for us.
Yeah.
And not that, our parents meant anything by that, but
right. It's
caused a nation of obesity. It's caused all of diabetes and all these problems.
Yep.
I know my mom talks about all the time when she was pregnant with me. Literally, the only thing she could eat for 9 months was peanut M&Ms, was candy. And my mom also got to be a diabetic when she was pregnant with me. And there's just all these things. So to me, the idea of whether you're pregnant, you have a baby, whatever it is, the idea of just feeding them meat and just things that God put on the earth for us to consume and going back to the way that things were, I just think it makes sense. I don't see where that's dangerous. I think people want to tell us that it's dangerous because if we started eating things like meat and maybe a little veg and a little berry and a little whatever, you eat those whole foods, it's like, well, now they don't make money off of you.
Right.
Because have you also gone to a grocery store and looked at how expensive baby food is?
Yep.
It's
baby food, formula, rice puffs, goldfish crackers,
Yeah.
all of these things, the little gummy snacks, like all this stuff that is made for kids and marketed for kids, and it's made colorful and they have cartoon characters. They are marketing to children.
Oh, totally.
From the time they are old enough to look at those bright colors and go, that looks cool, they are marketing to children.
Yeah, and you're teaching them to be super addictive. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, let's see what we got going on here in the comments.
Yeah.
For starters, Janelle is awesome. She actually put Dr. Barry Carnivore Baby's video.
There you go.
So you can go check out what he said.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Janelle. Rick is here.
Good morning, Rick.
Glad to have you. Easy Peasy Keto is in the house.
Hey, Stacy and Ken.
Says, good morning, my sweet friends. You two are the sweetest things in our PhD.
Oh, you're very sweet. We love you guys. Hope you guys are doing well.
Yes, and also so sweet. Stacy gave us a $10 super chat.
Oh, Stacy.
Says, thank you for the motivation on Monday. I grew up in Alaska. The only time we ate fruit was when the rich relatives came to visit twice a year, and a Christmas sack with an apple and an orange at church.
And to be honest with you guys, that's ancestrally very appropriate.
Yeah.
To have, here's the deal. If you want to have fruit when it's fresh for a very short season, and when it's ripe and you have small amounts of it, because that's what you would have been able to get, that's very ancestrally appropriate. That's exactly what people would have done. But that's not the majority of what we ate day after day after day after day for our entire year. We didn't ship fruit around the world 100 years ago.
Yeah.
You couldn't. So, just thinking about that, it's like, it's just crazy. So that's a perfect way of doing it. Like, people traveled and they brought us one sack of this fruit, and that was the only time we had it, and it was amazing. We enjoyed it and probably gained a few pounds, and guess what? That would see you through the winter months.
Yeah.
There you go.
Makes a lot of sense. Crow says, I wish I was a carnivore baby. Most of my health issues may have been avoided.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. I think to set your kids up right, to make them carnivore just from the get-go.
Absolutely.
Not even carnivore, proper human diet.
Yeah, just proper human diet, wherever that sits. But anywhere on the proper human diet, it's going to have a lot of animal protein in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not going to have a bunch of grains and veggies and, maybe a little bit of veggies and fruits, but it's not going to be like mainly veggies and fruits. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Let's see here. Holly Springer has a good point. If meat-based is so bad for babies, then why are we born to thrive on a mother's milk?
Yep. Absolutely.
Come on, Holly. Yeah.
I agree.
B. Rose says, the standard practices have produced metabolically unhealthy kids at younger ages, and the berries have produced lovely, healthy, active kids. My observation.
I totally agree.
Yep.
I totally agree.
Right on. Chili Harder is here. Says one of our largest newspapers in Denmark also just published the major article from the Wall Street Journal on the topic. I love Nisha and Dr. Berry. It's all over the world.
It's amazing. I think it's really cool, too, that they did this and that it has gone so widespread.
Oh, yeah.
Because even if people are arguing it, at least they're talking about it. At least we're getting people talking about this and thinking about this around the world right now. And that is the first step. There's a lot more steps to go, but that's the first step to try to get this started.
Yeah, it's really cool. Andy says, media's job has always been to sensationalize. Even the very best newspaper back in the 1400s was sensationalized.
Yep, that's
very
right.
True.
That's the thing. It's not their job to tell you the truth. It's their job to sell their media.
Yeah. So, well, that's how they make money.
Yeah. If the sensational stories are what sell, that's what they're going to print and post and publish and everything.
Yep, I agree. Let's see here. I believe this is a new friend. Bun Burry is here. Says, well, my 11-year-old is 90% carnivore because he eats broccoli, cauliflower, and some Italian breadsticks occasionally. My 12-year-old daughter as well. She adds cherries and blueberries.
That's cool that they're 90% meat-based. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think that's freaking awesome.
So fantastic. Glad you're here.
Really cool, yeah. Andy says, I think we have a hard time because what we see as mainstays, like baby food, are not mainstays. Baby food was invented in the 1920s.
Exactly.
Come on
Exactly. Now. That's the thing. 100 years or less is how all this has been working.
Yeah. She also says, so what did they eat before then? I bet milk, meat, eggs, and some plants.
Yep, absolutely. And the plants would have been minimal because it was what you could either harvest naturally or what you could grow yourself. And the plants were only things used to keep starvation away.
Right.
Right? Meat was the ultimate thing. Like, if you had the ability to have lots of meat and eggs and cheese and butter and all the other stuff, that's what people wanted.
Yeah.
They only used plants as a way to stave off starvation. So it's, and like Dr. Berry says, if you're starving and the only thing you've got around is grains, eat all the grains to keep from starving to death.
Yeah.
But as soon as you can swap that out for meat and eggs and butter and all these things, swap it out and get rid of the grains.
Yes.
Because you will get so much better health.
Yeah, absolutely. Dennis is here with us.
Good morning, Dennis.
Dennis says, all I know is that I have a friend with a son who's around 1 year old who is a food hound. It's amazing how much he eats. They feed him mainly meat. He loves meat, and he is not fat at all. I mean, there you go.
There it is.
Yeah, and Ann says, wow, crazy. This has become such a hot topic.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Rad Brown says, bacon might be a good teething device.
I totally agree.
I would be down with that. Brody YYC says, it's really interesting to read through the ingredients in those baby food packages.
Yeah, yeah.
He says, yeah, haha, it's all fruit and carbs. Very rare to find meat in them.
That's right.
Yeah. And Risa's Cluttered Kitchen is here.
Hey, Risa.
And they also say, I really think the way the media tried to sway the discussion was horrible. Kind of making fun of Nisha and Ken. They could have taught people instead of doing it that way.
I totally agree. But, you know, again, that goes back to that whole, their job is to sell the media, and when nothing sells like a scandal and a controversy that you pit someone to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
You know, and you try to make someone look crazy. And the thing is, I think it's funny, Nisha and Dr. Berry have done a great job of being very level-headed and very factual and logical. So you can't really pit them as crazy and bad people, but they still try to twist it a little bit to make them look like they're off their rocker. And you go, but everything they're saying is making sense, and they're very straightforward and logical.
Yeah.
So chipping away at that wall.
Yeah. Absolutely. Dustin at Keto Simple says, our granddaughter wouldn't eat baby cereal. She'd literally gag and make the worst faces. She loved butter and bacon and eggs.
It's like kids know.
Yeah. They're smart, man. They're smart. Janelle says, oh yes, bananas are such a magnificent source of potassium. Not.
Yep. That's correct. But everyone believes they are because the lie continues.
Yeah.
You know?
Bun Burry says, this topic is so funny because 10 years ago here in Hungary, my mom told me at age 5 months I should give chicken breast puree with breast milk. So I did.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Dr. Connie is here with us. Says the best source of vitamin C is homemade fermented sauerkraut.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, yeah.
Sure, yeah. If you're concerned about vitamin C and you really think that you need to get some, I mean, I don't really think you do, but if it's something you really want to do, there are such easy ways to get it that does not require you drinking orange juice and eating fruit on a daily basis.
Yeah.
That's a great way of doing it.
Yeah.
So.
Lewis Stone is here.
Hello, Lewis.
He says, howdy, y'all. Just sneaking in to say hi between patients to say hi. See ya on repeat.
Love it.
Well, hello.
Keep doing it wrong to get it right, man.
Yeah. Blue Diamondville says, Dr. Siegel, who claims to have to eat fiber, also just this weekend said pregnant women and children over 2.5 months should continue to get the C19 shot.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a lot of interesting things going on in the minds of people like that.
There is. That's a good way to put that, honey.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Marie is here.
Hello, Marie.
Says, my husband believes fiber is essential to scrub out the colon. However, he doesn't drink enough liquids for the amount of fiber he is eating to not get constipated.
Yeah, well, and unfortunately, this idea of fiber scrubbing out the colon, like, it does move through the colon, but the thing is, the colon is meant to clean itself when you stop putting junk into it. It does all of that. And the problem is all the little villi, the little tiny villi that exist in your intestines, that fiber going through there inflames them and scrubs them all in a way that roughs them up and actually causes damage, which is why you can get irritated intestinal linings and all sorts of things. So I know, Marie, I get it.
That's
some people just, they still think that that's a real thing, and and I understand why. We've been told that our whole lives.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. You're told it, so you believe it.
Yep.
I get it. We're all guilty of that. Sherry says, I have never had IBS or any gut issues, and as many of you know, I was a lot of broccoli, which for many would cause tummy issues.
Eat a lot of broccoli.
Eat a lot of broccoli, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, and that's the thing. You are blessed to be one of those people that the fiber is not causing that issue, because for a lot of people, it is not good, myself included. Yeah. I can eat a little bit, but it still messes with me some. But if I eat too much fiber, it's not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah. Terry's
Good morning,
here.
Terry.
She says, morning, folks. Wish I had this chart when I was in the classroom. Yeah. That would be awesome, huh? Janelle says, I have a difficult time conveying my husband.
Convincing my husband.
Oh, I'm sorry. Convincing is I think what she meant. My husband, the ice cream doesn't need to be eaten every day. At least I've managed to convert him to sugar-free ice cream.
It's a good start.
Step in the right
direction. One step at a time.
Step in the right direction. Terry also says, and now scientists are trying to mess up meats. Heard that some farmers are injecting a type of chemical into cows. We all need to find local farm sources.
Absolutely. If you can find a local place to buy and you know it's good quality beef, support your local farmers and ranchers.
Do it, guys. Yes, very important. Easy Peasy Keto, Stacy and Ken say, Ken ate an apple fresh from our tree yesterday. We totally enjoyed it, but we won't eat store fruits.
And you know what? If you have fruit that you have grown yourself like that, and you have a small amount of it during that ripe season of the year when it's fresh, ready to go, I think as long as you're metabolically generally healthy, I don't think there's probably anything wrong with that. Yeah. We have been doing that for a long time as a human species. Mm-hmm. It's just the going to the store and having it year round and having totally inordinate amounts of it.
Right.
That is not anything we would have ever had before. That's, I think, when it becomes a problem.
Absolutely, yeah. Yogi says, I wouldn't want to be raising kids again. However, I wish I had known this when I was raising my kids.
Yep, yes, absolutely. And that's the thing, for parents who have already raised their kids, you only know what you know, and you can't blame yourself for not knowing these things because this information was not easily available out there. But it's like, but now that the information is out, we all have to keep sharing and spreading and trying to help as many people as we can know this so that they don't operate in the same ignorance of this information that so many of us have for our lives.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. And Risa says, I never would have given Trevor mac and cheese if I had known that he would eat ground beef and eggs and other proteins. Yep. I would have given him carnivore-based foods or PhD foods. I didn't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Most people don't when they do these kinds of things. This is why grace and understanding is so important, because people who don't know cannot be blamed for doing something like this. And for people who have been eating this stuff and they're trying to transition, you can't beat those people up and say you just gotta switch overnight. Like, that's why things like recipes are helpful, or maybe some people don't find recipes helpful. It's why we all have to find our own approach to transitioning to a better way of doing this. And it takes time, and it takes intentional work, and it takes support from the community.
Yeah.
You know, that's why we have the band. That's why the community exists, because we don't judge. And if you want to come in there and talk about what you're struggling with, talk about your wins, talk about what you're doing, share with each other what's going on, we don't do the whole dogmatic beat people up thing for not doing stuff right or blaming people for stuff. We don't do any of that. That's not helpful, and that's not how it works.
Definitely. Terry says, I'm excited about watching my granddaughters. The youngest is definitely more carnivore. Now to convert the older one. Worried about her sugar intake.
Yep. And you know what? That's
grandma.
That's a good grandma, and that's when you go use some recipes, and you just help them move it on over.
That's right. That's awesome. Risa says they push the baby food that is all packaged veg, fruit, and grains, all made by Big Food.
Yep. And they do that because they can make it cheaply and make a lot of money off of it, and unfortunately, it's addictive to do it.
I was going to say, well, if you get them addicted young, then
the sugar industry makes a lot of money off of people not being able to give any of this up from the time they are born till the time they die.
Preach it. Janelle says, I keep apologizing to my kids for what I fed them when they were little.
Yeah, I get it, Janelle. But remember, you can't take that responsibility on yourself, because if you didn't know, you weren't doing something wrong.
Yeah,
it may not have been ideal, but you can't be held responsible for something you don't know you're doing.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
You're doing great.
And Janelle also says, carnivore baby sounds sensationalized. Just eating the PhD should be normal for everyone.
Absolutely.
I agree. And Raz says, I think Carnivore Babies is perfect. Terry says, interesting. As a child, I only wanted the cereal for the toys. My mom would fuss because the cereal would be wasted. Always had the better of the standard American diet, where it was balanced with protein, veg, and starch.
Yep. And why do you think they started putting toys into sugary cereals?
Right.
To get the kids stuck on the idea that they wanted the cereal, convince the parents to buy it, the kids get hooked on the sugar, and then what do? They keep buying it.
Yeah. It's repeat customers. Yeah. Jolene is here. Says, hi, everyone. Don't forget to hit the like button.
Yes, thank you, Jolene. Good to see you.
Yeah. Blue Diamond Bill says, the mainstream media pushes what their advertisers want them to.
Yeah.
Carnivore will put the majority of them out of business.
Yep, I agree.
Agreed. Denise A is here with us. Says, addiction food would be ultra-processed food, carbs, and sugar. I've noticed more processed meat has sugar, corn syrup, or soy. The manufacturer will make these meats addictive.
Yep, that's right. Well, because they make it taste sweet, and they make it taste, this kind of like addictive thing and whatever. That's why if you guys go out, you can do carnivore, keto, anything with the cheapest meats available. Potted meat, bologna, hot dogs, deli meats, whatever. Just make sure to read the label and get the ones that have as little as possible of any of the junk or none of the junk, the cleanest you can find. And if the cleanest you can find has a tiny little bit of corn syrup, I'm not saying it's good, but if that's the best you can do, it's way better than all of the other processed junk you could be eating. You just do the best you can. So, but yeah, read those labels, because they'll put addictive stuff even in that.
Yep. Agreed. Dennis is funny. He says, I'm addicted to ribeye steak. I start craving it.
Yeah, there you go.
It's good stuff. And Terry,
I think that's called being hungry.
I think it is too. It makes sense, doesn't it? Terry says, it's better to be addicted to meat than candy.
Absolutely.
Hands down. Sherry says, I find all of this so interesting, how different all of us are. Some best on carnivore, etc.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. If you find what works for you, just roll with it.
Yeah. Dustin says, so many amazing people in here today. This community is so great. It really brings joy to my heart.
Yes, I agree. This is a fantastic community.
I'm telling you, they're the best of the best.
And if you guys are new here, make sure you like and subscribe so you can come be a part of this community.
Yes.
And if you need extra amounts of this community, come join the band.
Yes.
It's in the description box, and it's also in the chat.
Also, this is so freaking awesome. You got a $20 super chat from Blue Diamond Bill.
Oh, thank you, Bill.
He says, just celebrated my 2-year carniversary.
Congratulations.
Come on, man.
That deserves a light show today.
Dude,
rock
yes,
on.
Absolutely. Says, used to wear 38 waist pants, now down to a 32. Thanks to good people like you, I can now run sprints. At 68, I feel like I am only middle-aged. 120, here I come.
There you go, brother. I love that.
That's awesome, Bill.
Fantastic. Congrats, my friend.
Wow, that is so awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. Wow, that's amazing. Let's see here. Lone Stoners, it says, every year in August, I forgo local black...
forage local blackberries.
Oh, sorry, forage local blackberries. I can't read today. And I buy a small amount of local raw unfiltered honey. I sparingly eat those 2 items for 1 month every year.
Yep.
That's cool.
And honestly, that is pretty much what ancestrally anybody would have done if they would have been able to find honey. They would have enjoyed it, and it would have been a very rare occasion, but they would have enjoyed it. And if they had blackberries locally that were wild, that they could fight the bears off for, they would eat as many of those as they could during the ripe season, which would have been, a few weeks, maybe a month.
Yeah.
And then they wouldn't have done it again until the next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the way it works.
It's pretty cool. Smooth Will is here.
Hey, Smooth Will.
Says, hello, beautiful people. I'm struggling to stay carnivore for real. I'm fake carnivore. I'm disciplined in most things in my life, but I'm struggling with being true carnivore.
Well, here's the thing, Smooth Will. So first of all, what is true carnivore versus fake carnivore?
That's a great question.
Right? And if you need to be true carnivore, per se, just work on being that a little bit more each day. Like, it's not always an easy, just overnight switch.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, do you need to be whatever true carnivore is versus fake carnivore? If you're close to carnivore and you're not doing too much as far as like eating too many carbs in a day, does it matter if you're really fully carnivore or if you're just close? Like, what is the health benefit that giving yourself that true carnivore label will give you that you're not getting currently?
Yeah.
So, and I believe me, I understand, because it can be tough sometimes if you are missing certain things or you're not prepared to handle certain things, whatever. It can be tough to stick to. But if you are able to stick to it, great. If you're not, do the best you can and try to be a little bit more that way each day. But no matter what, have grace for yourself. Have the wherewithal to just say, here's the benefits I'm looking for, and start figuring out, well, how am I going to do that? And find your tribe, find your support. You want to come join the band? Come join the band. You want to be here in our live streams? Be here. You want to go somewhere else and find a group of people to help you? Do that. But surround yourself with people that will support you. And whatever you do, don't beat yourself up for imperfection, because none of us are perfect. I have multiple live streams over the last couple of months we've done talking about these things and tools and all this kind of stuff. Go back and watch them. But anything we can do to support you, let us know. And just remember, this isn't about being perfect. It's about doing a little bit better each day. And the label of like real carnivore, fake carnivore, keto, I honestly, we just don't care about labels. Are you being healthy? Are you doing things that are good for your body? Are you doing the stuff that's helping you reach your goals? That's all that really matters.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
you're doing great, Smooth Will. I think you're really doing great, and we are so happy to do whatever we can to support you in the process.
I also have to say there are a lot of people that were chiming in on the chat and giving advice and encouragement and stuff, and honestly, just good. We just have such a great community.
We really do.
I mean, we really, really do. Really quick, I also love what Dustin just said here about this topic of being true carnivore. He says, true carnivore is what you need to be to find success and consistency.
Yep, whatever that means to you.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, man, we are rooting for you, though.
Yep, you're doing great, Smooth Will.
You really are.
Let us know what we can do to help.
Holly Springer says, I stopped listening and reading the news media decades ago after learning how a friend was treated by the news media after her mother passed away from a serial killer. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really watch news unless it's a specific article or a specific thing like the Dr. Barry interview or something where I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. I want to see what they said. Unless it's something very specific, I pay almost no attention to news anymore.
Yeah.
Because it just is so negative.
I just think it's honestly media in general. I mean, I do a lot of like interviews and stuff all the time. And that's one thing. It's like I will sit down for the interview or whatever, and then the article comes out, and a lot of the time there's like things misquoted, or it's like they take something out of, because it sells papers. It's makes something more interesting.
Absolutely.
So Dustin says, my understanding is meat is digested and utilized before it even gets to the colon.
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I may have heard that incorrectly.
Yeah. No, that's to the best of my understanding. That's true too. So there are I forget it. I'm drawing a blank on his name. If anyone knows it, put it in the chat. But there's a carnivore creator that has a colostomy bag, and has actually eaten like plant matter, and can see it come out in the colostomy bag unchanged. And then he's eaten meat, and basically almost nothing comes through. Mm-hmm. And I know Bella, Steak and Butter Gal, openly talks about how she eats meat, and she uses the bathroom 1 time a week. And she's like, I'm not constipated. Nothing else is going on. I eat all of this meat and I poop once a week. Right? Not saying that's your goal, but I'm saying that your body can fully absorb and utilize so much of the nutrients of the meat. There's really nothing that has to work its way through. So yeah, there's little to nothing from meat that actually makes it all the way to the colon.
Huh. Yeah.
So it's pretty wild.
And Charger Mopar says, Kent Carnivore, Lee Copus. Is that maybe who that is? I'm assuming.
Let's see. Kent Carnivore, Lee Copus. Yeah, that could be.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it is, in fact, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Rick.
Yep.
Brian is here with us. Says, late as can be. Hope everyone is doing great. I will have to go back and watch it later.
Yeah, absolutely, Brian.
Yeah, thanks for being here, man. Beverly says, I think because of how far they reach and how big their following is and disrupting the cash big pharma and traditional medicine might lose.
Yep.
Love that they research and back up what they say.
Yep, absolutely. That's why I've followed Dr. Berry and listened to his advice for so long, because he doesn't just say things, he links to the research that says it.
Yeah, it's really great.
And he knows what he's talking about.
This is so sweet. Janny G says, your recipes are the best. I've bought the granite pans, use them every day. They are the best.
I'm so glad, Janie. Thank you so much for being here.
Very sweet. Lone Stoner says, in my opinion, carnivore kids will grow up to be smarter and healthier than kids who eat all the poison.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I totally agree.
Yeah. And guess what? Chris Bear is here.
What's up? It is Chris Squared.
In the house.
The trouble is starting.
And this is so funny. So he says, question, Chris and Ash. If someone is going to be in the Nashville area on September 12th and bored and looking for something to do you have a suggestion? Maybe at a state park conference center?
Oh, yeah. I might be able to send you some ideas, brother. I'll shoot you a text message. So I got to talk to the business manager over here, but maybe we can shoot a couple ideas your way.
Yes. If you guys don't know what Chris Bear is hinting at is low carb for better health.
Yes.
So, and if you guys do not have your tickets for that, you should totally do it. It's about an hour outside of Nashville.
Yep, it's about an hour outside of Nashville.
And I believe, what's the website URL again?
So it's L as in low, C as in carb, the number 4, B as in better, H as in health. So LC, the number 4, BH.com. And if you guys don't have your tickets yet, you need to go get them ASAP. It's a star-studded speaker lineup. There's going to be lots of great information. We're going to be there the first day. I'm going to be cooking up some meat samples with the meat sponsor, Route 22 Meats.
Yeah.
We're just going to be having some fun. We'd love to see you guys there. And I know Amanda Decker has put together an amazing event, and she would love for you to be able to come and benefit from all of the work she has done to collect so many people to bring you amazing health information.
I think Chris Bear might be there too.
Yeah.
Which is a reason enough to buy your ticket and come see Chris Bear.
Yes.
Because I'm hoping that
he and I were
wearing...
talking yesterday, and he was talking about flying into Nashville, and him and Miriam and being here. So
fun.
yeah, Chris Bear is going to be there, and you might see the amazing Hawaiian shirts.
I was gonna say that's really what I'm here for.
Yeah.
I need it.
Yeah,
so.
and I see Janelle is dropping in the link there for everybody.
She's
so
the best.
LC4BH.com, go pick up your tickets, because if you don't, you're gonna be sad.
Rad says I will be there.
Sweet Rad, will come up and say hello to us. We'd love to meet you.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
Merlin says we need carnivore babies.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Kelly says thank you for the info on hot dogs, lunch meat. That's what I eat most. LOL. I hate to cook. I think she means cook once in a while.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
Totally get it.
Absolutely.
Dr. Connie says, I love your recipes. I recently made a carnivore pizza, the pizza crust with cream cheese from 2 years ago, and the white sauce. It was great.
Oh, well, I'm so glad you enjoyed that, Dr. Connie. Thank you so much. That is a good recipe. I haven't done that one in a long time, but I remember it was very good when we put that out.
Yeah. And this is cool. A1A North discovered your carnivore bread recently. Discovered the 92nd this morning.
Yeah.
Subscribe. Thinking about the band,
Cool.
Especially if y'all need a mediocre picker.
Hey, everybody is welcome. We would love to have you in there, my friend.
Absolutely.
And I think the bread is awesome. The 90-second bread is maybe even better. And it's fast and easy, and you can just kind of make it on the fly for however much you need. But
simple.
it's really, really cool, and I'm really glad that you're here. Thank you for stopping in and saying hello, and hope we can see you for more of these.
Yeah, they also say they've been carnivore for 5 months and they're down 40 pounds. Come on. That's what's up.
That deserves a light show. Rock on, my friend.
That's definitely a rock show.
That is amazing.
That is amazing.
Good for you.
And this is cool. Stacy and Ken say we are getting in there on Thursday and staying until Monday. If anyone wants to get together at Low Carb for Better Health.
Very, very cool. Now, Stacy, are you guys coming in? So you're getting here on Thursday. Are you coming in like Thursday during the day? And are you coming into Nashville? Are you guys driving? Are you staying over in like the Dixon area? Like, what's the deal?
What's the deal, guys?
What's the deal?
What you doing? Brian says, one of the best things I've learned was the ability to correct and change my course.
Yep.
Without the ability, you're doomed on repeat your mistakes over and over.
That's right. And you just correct things one at a time, and you just keep moving forward, and over time you change your life, and that's how it works. So good for you, my friend.
Preach it.
Fantastic.
Smooth Will says, thanks for the support, everyone.
Absolutely.
And Lone Stoner says, you guys play guitar.
Hey, yeah. So actually we're professional musicians. That's why we're in Nashville in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Ash is a country artist, and while we are on the subject, I'm going to show you guys. Let's see. Yep, that right there. Wait for it. There we go.
Oh, look at that.
Yes. There we go. So you guys can go stream Ash's brand new single that's out right now.
Yes.
This Town Built Me, and you can hear both of us playing guitars. And we have actually even another special release related to that'll be coming. So
we have all kinds of
there's
stuff.
all kinds of things. So you guys go stream This Town Built Me wherever you like to stream your music. And if you want more info, go to ashtaylor.com and you can hear the musical thing, which is actually why we're in Nashville. And this whole YouTube thing we do is just sort of a accidental happenstance that here we are.
Yeah.
So
we just got healthy.
Yeah.
This is funny. Chris Bear says, do we get to see Ash's new logo? I made a logo going off the Cracker Barrel thing. I think that's what Chris is mentioning. Yeah. It's funny. It's pretty great.
It is pretty great.
It's pretty funny. You gotta laugh. Dustin says, I am still trying to figure out if I'll be able to go or not. Yeah, totally good. And he says, keep your fingers crossed for me.
Yep, absolutely.
And Stacey and Ken say, driving in and have hotel reservations in Dixon.
Awesome.
So they'll be in Dixon.
Awesome.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
love it.
Because we're probably going to be up that way doing prep ahead of time. So we may be over there around the same time they are.
Yeah.
So.
And this is our friend Lonnie watching
Hello,
on Facebook.
Lonnie.
Love Lonnie. He says, awesome new single, guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Ash is pretty awesome.
No, I just rap songs, and my husband's he's real great. He's awesome. And yes, Chris says, yes, correct, the Cracker Barrel logo.
If you guys go to ashtaylor.com and you go find Ash on any of her social media accounts, you'll see that logo that is out there in posts.
Yes. You'll have a good laugh because it's funny and we should laugh, guys. It's good.
Absolutely.
Deborah Chase is here.
Yeah.
Says, hi, I have been on the carnivore way of life for a couple of years. I don't understand why I crave sugar. I did not crave it before. I have lost a lot of weight and maintained it. I do love carnivore.
Yeah. Well, Deborah, I'm not a doctor and any kind of like a scientist or anything, but here's what I'll say. If you don't crave sugar when you're eating the sugar, it's because you're feeding the addiction, and the addiction doesn't flare up. As soon as you take that away, you not only don't have the taste and the ritual and the whatever of the sugar, but you're also not getting the spike and the chemical effect in your brain. And addiction likes to rear its ugly head, especially if you're stressed or other triggers are happening in your life. That's how addiction works. And then your brain goes, hey, I want some of those cookies. Hey, let's have some ice cream. Let's have this. Let's have it. It pops up. It does for me occasionally. If I get super stressed or I'm really struggling with something, I will have a random pop-up craving. And I don't really fear those anymore. I don't worry about those. I just have a specific set of things that I do that helps me fight against that. So if I start craving something, I eat beef patties and eggs with butter until I'm stuffed. That's what I do. It's like my go-to is the beef patties and the eggs. I do that, and then if I'm still thinking about sugar and I'm stuffed and I know I'm not hungry, but I'm still thinking about sugar, or it doesn't even have to be sweet. It could be mashed potatoes or, I don't know, Taco Bell or like whatever it is, whatever random thing would be in my head. If I'm still thinking about that, I know that's an addiction, and it's very easy for me to go, the craving is my brain trying to be an addict. and I can just push that aside. And I'm like, it's not necessarily fun, but it's not a big deal because I can see it clearly for what it is. So if the reason you're craving sugar is because you went carnivore, it's because you stopped feeding the addiction, which was keeping those thoughts at bay. When you stop feeding the addiction, then every now and then when there's stress and other triggers in your life, your brain tries to go back to the addiction. And it's okay. It's a real thing. And many of us experience this, especially when it's things like stress related or other things in your life that trigger these things from a psychological perspective. That's a whole thing. Yeah. So, ask yourself when you're craving that, not what you're craving or why you're craving it. Ask, what was the trigger that caused me to start craving this? Start thinking about the stress or the other factors in your life that may cause that, because those are the real source of what's causing those things to creep back in. So it's just my thoughts. But Deborah, you're doing great. It sounds like you're doing fantastic.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Cool. Well, babe, I think we're all pretty much caught up here on the comments.
Yeah.
So you put out a video this past Saturday.
I did, yeah. We made ricotta cheese.
Oh, yum.
Yep.
Yum.
It was very tasty. It's a very simple process. If you have whey left over from all of these other kinds of, dairy experiments we've been doing, you can use that whey rather than throwing it out. You can go make ricotta. I saw somebody commented and they were like, it's a lot of work for such a small amount of cheese. And I'm like, well, number one, that's how ricotta is made. Two, it's very simple to do it. It's not much work at all. Like, it's probably one of the simplest ways you can make cheese in the world. So, if you want to make your own cheese at home, it just takes work. You just can't be lazy about it. I'm sorry, it's just what it is. And especially if you want to make sure it's ricotta that doesn't have a bunch of junk or added things in it, like from the grocery store, that's what it takes to do it.
Sure.
So, it just is, it is what it is. And if you're not interested in making it, you can throw the whey away. But it's just kind of a waste to not go ahead and make it, because all it really takes is heat and a little bit of acid. So it's pretty simple. And it's really amazing, and it tastes a whole lot better than the stuff from the store, too.
Oh, yeah.
So,
hands down. And Janelle was awesome.
Yeah,
to put
thank
up the
you,
link
Janelle.
For that. Super, super good. I think it's really awesome, though. I've really enjoyed your dairy series, and I know you still have some other stuff that you're going to be putting out in it, but I think it's important. Knowledge is so important, especially when you're trying to take your health back.
Yep.
And so I get, like, sometimes it's easy to go to the store, buy this, buy that, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think having the knowledge of knowing how to make it, what needs to be done, whatever, I think it's so freaking cool.
Also, the fact that it's easy to go to the store and just buy it is exactly what major corporations are counting on, so that they can make it cheap in bulk, sell it to you, make it addictive, and then keep you coming back for more at the expense of your health.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you want to get out of that system, you've got to stop thinking like someone who's part of it.
Yeah.
If you want to get outside the matrix, stop serving the matrix.
Fair.
I'm just saying. So do the work, make your cheese at home. It's part of what we got to do. You cannot change the system by being part of it.
Yeah.
You change the system by getting out of it and refusing to play their game until they change it.
Preach it.
That's how you change it. So that's why we make things from scratch.
Yeah. And Dustin says, Chris Cookie Nashville is the messenger on how to make something homemade. It's always going to take more time than going to the store.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's taking back your freedom.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. And I've said this a lot of times. Lazy cooks don't eat good food.
Word.
Sorry, they just don't. Only in the last 50 to 75 years have we believed that food shouldn't take work.
Yeah.
That's never been a real thing in all of human history. It's a whole lot easier to take some whey that's left over from these things and put it on the stove, heat it up, and add some acid to it and have ricotta cheese than it is to raise the cow, milk the cow, build a fire, make the cheese, then collect the whey in an earthen pot, cook that over the open fire, go find the acid from lemons that are growing wild or somewhere else, or figure out how to, create your own cultured things that become acidic and make your own vinegar at home, and then use that to look at the layers of making stuff from scratch that would have had to have been there a couple of 100 years ago.
Sure.
And yet we complain about, like, oh, it takes me 5 minutes to heat that up. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that it's like, we don't realize our perspective is so affected by modern things in a grocery store. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
That's not how humans have ever lived.
Agreed.
So if you want to change the system, you have to get out of the system.
Yep. And Blue Diamond Bill says, "Amen. Get out of the matrix."
Yep. That's right. That's what we do.
Awesome. So you're going to be at Low Carb for Better Health.
We're going to be at Low Carb for Better Health.
We're going to go film a video here in just a second,
aren't
we?
Yep. We're going to go film a video on the back end of this whole keto, carnivore, babies, kids kind of concept here. We're doing animal-based Nilla wafers.
Yum.
Yep. We're going to do animal-based Nilla wafers for you guys.
Oh, yum.
And they're really good. They're really good. Ash is looking forward to tasting these, I know.
Dude, I used to love those when I was a kid. I'm just still a big kid, let's be honest, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to that. Hun, is there anything else you want to say before we head on out?
I don't think I have anything other than major props to Dr. Barry and Nisha for doing the work that they do to be able to do things like go on Fox News and tell people about a proper human diet for even babies and children. Mm-hmm. I think that's really cool.
I agree.
So if you guys need extra support or any of that stuff, make sure to go to the description box. The band is down there. We would love for you to come over and be a part of everything. And we just we just appreciate all of you guys. We really love having you here. We really appreciate the chance to spend time with you, support you, have you support us. All of us work together as a community, because if we don't all work together and we all just disagree and fight over every little last detail, we're never going to be able to actually push the movement forward and help more people. So, there's a lot of subtlety and a lot of different places we can go with individual details, but it's really important, though, that we work together and we see the differences for what they are, and that we figure out how to support each other in the process, because that's how we go out and help people.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
I think that's all I've got. You have anything?
No,
okay.
No, I think we're good. We'll see you guys next Monday, 10 a.m. Central.
Yep,
Come
every
tune
Monday,
in.
10 a.m. Central Time, so that we can motivate each other, give you some motivation for the week. Make sure to go stream Ash's single, This Town Built Me, and go to ashtaylor.com for all of the info there, as well as her YouTube channel and all different kinds of things. So I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate all of you guys. We love every single one of you. This is Chris Cook in Nashville, the beautiful Ash Taylor. You guys eat your meat, even if you're a baby. Love your life. We'll see you here in the studio for more motivation, down in the kitchen for more recipes, and who knows where else online, and Low Carb for Better Health as well.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Have a great
good
week.
day.